Good evening. I'd like to thank Kim and Reed, who is not here, and the entire NAPS board for coordinating this event. I'd also like to thank Bolton Academy for hosting it. Having done it before, I know that it's a lot of work. I'd also like to acknowledge my husband, Steve, and my son, Matt, who are in the audience tonight. They continue to be extremely supportive of my service, and it's so appreciated, so thank you. I'm proud to be a product of public education, and I believe that strong schools mean strong communities. Both of our sons attended APS, K through 12, graduating from North Atlanta and the IB program. Matt is a senior at Georgia Tech, majoring in mechanical engineering, and our younger son, Andrew, is a junior at UGA, majoring in management. Serving as your District 4 rep for the past 4 years has been extremely rewarding. While our school system has made progress in many areas, I believe there's much more that really needs to be accomplished. My board experience introduced me to a deeper understanding of the cluster, the complexities of the operations within APS, and the relationships with the City of Atlanta. This invaluable experience equips me to be part of our system's future progress, making important decisions that are imperative for our success. For 12 years prior to serving on the board in numerous roles with the cluster, I served as PTA president at Sutton Middle School and North Atlanta High School. I was co-president of this organization, NAPS, for 3 years, and I was founding member of the North Atlanta High School Foundation. As both an elected board member and a volunteer, my focus has been to help schools be excellent and have equity. In fact, as seeking re-election, I am more passionate today about the need to continue this journey. It's my strong desire to continue serving our community and city as an engaged, outspoken member of the board. I believe that our children...
Thank you, Ms. Rice.
...are all great.
Ms. Bowman, you have 2 minutes for an opening statement.
Karen Chalavis Bowman, and I'm running for the Atlanta Board of Education's District 4. And this is my very first panel discussion, so I'm really excited. I grew up in Atlanta. In fact, I grew up in District 4. And because of this, I grew up with a father who's an attorney, and my mother is out there, who's my excellent #1 campaign manager right now. She's in the audience. She was a real estate agent. So as a result of this, I feel like I have a very deep, ingrained, and organic sense of our community. I believe I know its unique wonderfulness, and I believe that I know its unique needs. #1, we need a new superintendent. We need a superintendent that is a leader. We need an A-team. He needs to know how to lead with integrity, innovation, and to hire an A-team for this cluster. #2, we need to balance our budget. Money's going unreported. We need to know where that money's going. The answer is not raising taxes to compensate for a mismanaged budget. The answer is managing the budget, getting it under control, and lowering taxes. #3, we need to localize the budget, which some people call decentralization. I like to call it localization. I think it's more positive. And that doesn't mean that all of our property taxes stay in one district. What it means is that we're in control of our own budget to give principals the opportunity to hire their own staff within that budget. It gives our schools the opportunity to get what we need that might not be what a school in a different district needs. Everybody needs something different, so every district would have that opportunity. #5, we need to increase graduation rates.
Thank you, Ms. Bowman.
Okay.
You'll have an additional opportunity. You may stand up. You're first on the question. The first question is, what qualities, experience, or position on specific issues are you looking for in a new superintendent? 1 minute.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
What qualities, experience, or position on specific issues are you looking for in a new superintendent?
Leadership. Like I said before, I want to see a leader there. I don't want to see a B team. I want to see an A team. And the things I'm looking for are honesty, transparency, integrity. I want somebody in there who's an innovative person who can push our cluster and push all of APS to a whole nother level. Right now, we're not there. Our graduation rate is 51%. We can do better. We can do much, much better. And that's what I want in a superintendent. I want him to lead the way and pave the way down that road to make us a world-class school.
Ms. Meister, same to you. Question to you.
I definitely want honesty and transparency in a superintendent. I also think it's very important that we find a leader that's capable of hiring the quality people that we need in C&I and HR and IT, and that they work together and not in silos as they have in the past. We need someone that understands that APS is not a one-size-fits-all plan. It most certainly is not. And I do think, and I agree, that we need to decentralize. We have resources that could be utilized more effectively if the principals and the clusters were able to manage their own money and use it how they felt best to serve their students best. Thus, it would increase our graduation rate.
Thank you. And this one again will be to you, Ms. Meister. Both of you have discussed decentralization, and should the principals be given the freedom to hire teachers on their own outside of the APS pool? And do you have other thoughts on decentralization and distribution of authority to the school level?
I absolutely think that principals should be given the autonomy to hire their own teachers. It's a struggle for our principals, and they probably won't agree publicly with me, but I think that they would agree. It's a struggle to hire the teachers that they need to teach the subjects where they have the most need. If they were given the autonomy to do this, they could go outside the system. They can fall within the same parameters that our policies, or if we have to change our policies, we can do that. But if we truly want to service our kids the way we say we do, we have got to give our principals more autonomy. We have some really great principals, and unfortunately, with everything that's gone on, we haven't, the bad ones seem to rise to the top in the news, but we actually have the best principals sitting right here in the front row, so.
Ms. Bowman, same question.
Absolutely. That's a no-brainer to me. Every principal should be in a position where they can hire the quality staff to meet the needs of their particular school. They know their students, they know their student body, and this is one of my biggest, platforms is the community building part of a school that makes that school great. And if a teacher is if a principal is empowered to hire the quality staff and the staff that works in the realm of their school, then that builds teacher satisfaction, that builds community involvement. That is only a positive in any way you look at it. So yes, I definitely agree to that.
Thank you. You'll go first on this next question. What's your position on maximum class size issue, and how would you reallocate resources to address the issue if you think there's a problem there?
I do think there's a problem. I think we need to at least have the state maximum class sizes or below, not above, because we need to give every student that opportunity to learn. We need to have every student. One of my biggest things in studying small class sizes is how a student learns and the gap that it bridges between the ethnic gap and the socioeconomic gap. If you have smaller class sizes, it's going to bridge that gap and it's going to bridge it faster, and then we can move on with other things. Small class sizes are very important for our learning, and I very much agree with smaller class sizes.
Okay,
thank you.
Ms. Meister?
Actually, as we went through the budget cycle this spring, that came up, and I actually voted against increasing class sizes or supporting a waiver. I think the state puts max on the class size for a reason. I don't think that with a 51% graduation rate, even our most effective teachers can be more effective with less kids in the classroom. And I think it's unfair to those schools that don't, and to both kinds of schools that get Title I that are expected to use that money to buy teachers, and schools that don't get Title I. If class sizes were lower, all schools would have less kids in a class, and it would be effective for everyone. So I adamantly oppose it, and I was very vocal and questioned the superintendent on why, we have to, and why the state sets that, and the answer was because that should be the max. So I think that should tell us something.
Thank you. Nancy, you're next on this one as well. You were very involved in the budget process for the last couple of years, and Ms. Bowman has some accounting background, so I thought it would be appropriate to ask both of you. Is the budgeting system broken? And if so, how would you fix it?
The budgeting system is very broken. This year, for example, it happened in a very compressed time period. We were given very little information, and it was like a push and pull. Going forward, we need to, number one, let the administration know what the board believes the class size should be, because so much of what the budget is based on is the class size, and that was just the game we played all spring. So we need to give that to the superintendent. We also need to revise a policy that we have that will allow him to, that will force he or she to give us more information during the budgeting process. And then we need to really set a timetable for the administration and have them adhere to that. I think that this spring we had some great resources, you, Mr. Stockwell, Jared Apperson, and we need to engage the community more and use those resources.
Ms. Bowman, same question. Sure. Is the budget system broken, and if so, how would you change it?
Yes, the budgeting system is broken. Like I said, money's going unreported, and no one's being held accountable. So I do have a financial background. I was a production accountant. Kind of to date myself, the last job I had, well, the last job I actually turned down was The Blind Side. And that's sort of where I took my last little toe out of the accounting world and started really focusing on my children's education, who are all in APS schools, and looking at APS as a whole. We need transparency. We need to see where all of our money is going down to the penny. Because if we don't have this, we can't fix a budget when we don't know where the money's being spent. We need to look at that. We need to, I was supposed to say how I want to change it. Sorry. Just, anyways. But yes, we definitely need to look at this budget and fix it.
Okay.
And I'm prepared to do that.
You'll each have 2 minutes for a closing statement. Ms. Bowman, you're first.
Again, I'm Taryn Shulkus Bowman, and I did grow up in this area. I have been working since I was 18 years old. I started off at Turner Legal, and I ran the Low First Camera at the Braves games, and I moved on up into the more financial accounting world and in film production. I wrote my own computer program for Georgia tax incentives and Georgia, the union, to balance budgets and to project into the future for movie productions, for sets, so that we could stay on budget. I want to serve you, sorry, I don't know why it's bothering me, but I really want to serve you as the district, in the District 4 seat, because I know what we need in this area, and I can accomplish that. I'm able to reinforce my financial responsibility, able to carve out solid and uninterrupted time every single week to serve my community. I can carve out 30 hours every week above and beyond what's called for to be a board member, to serve my community, and to get done what we need to get done. I have no conflict of interest. Like I said, to date myself, the last thing I turned down was The Blind Side, and I've been 100% involved with APS sets in my children's school, on the PTA, in trying to come up with new and innovative things to keep our children interested, to keep them involved, to give them ownership, to give our communities ownership. I see this as a community effort. We're a community, we're in this together, and that's what's going to make a great school.
Thank you. Ms. Meister? Applause is allowed, by the way.
I gotta race through this. Thank you for being here this evening, and thank you for your support over the last 4 years. As I reflect over those years, I'm proud to say that I have served you with integrity and transparency. I've listened when called upon, answered when asked, and advocated when needed. The students of District 4 have always come first, and my commitment to my community has never wavered. If we reflect on the big picture for a moment, my tenure started with one of the largest cheating scandals in U.S. history. It was followed by the resignation of a superintendent, the search for a superintendent, and the hiring of an interim superintendent. There was a reinstatement of accreditation, replacement of principals and teachers, and due to cheating and the loss of senior cabinet members. All of this occurred in the midst of a recession with lower property values and a decreased tax digest. It's fair to say this was more than the perfect storm. But as I continue to reflect, I believe, and I can say with confidence, that I weathered that storm, and I grew stronger and I worked harder in this crisis. I am proud of the positions that I voiced and the votes that I cast, which include voting against accepting the Blue Ribbon Commission report, increasing class sizes, a bloated budget, and an extension of the interim superintendent's contract. I'm proud of the policies that I supported, which ensured the budgets have more oversight, that facilities and long-term planning are not short-sighted, and that board governance standards are high. I'm proud of the community work I've done in schools as an advocate in District 4. Redistricting issues, transportation problems, safety and security concerns, but we still have much more important work ahead. Improving graduation rates, remediating children who've been cheated in an education, and a better utilization of resources. I'm experienced and I'm prepared to do this work on behalf of the students in the community. I thank you for being here, and I look forward for your support on November 5th.